Hello, everyone. Today I wanted to take a look at Flower. This was a game I played a long, long time ago, and honestly, I kind of forgot about it until now. But this is the closest thing to a mental health, self-help experience that there is in video game format. Made by that game company. Their previous game was Flow. Their game after this was the very famous Journey. And so flower is, well, predictably, you play as a flower. And you basically are caught up in the wind currents, and your objective really in most of the levels is just to go around and collect the petals from, the other flowers and create this giant amalgamation of wind and debris that you kind of go to the next level. The game itself, it's a PS3 exclusive. It works only with the 6-axis controller. I think you can use the sticks, but it's pretty much mainly used by motion control. So it is literally like baby mode, so to speak. Like it's almost impossible to lose, I think. It's just how quickly or how fast you can get through the game. And but it's really not something you want to rush. It's something you want to take your time with because it's just very relaxing. It's incredibly zen. And so if you ever have, I don't know, a bad day, but beyond a bad day, like need to improve your mental health, this is the one game I would prescribe as almost doctor because it's just so soothing. The music also is a lot of strings and woodwinds, and so it just leads to this very calming aspect. Also, it's the kind of game where you can just put down the controller and leave it, and it'll just kind of stay there. There is a boost function, so if you're actually, wanting to actually play the game and pick up some speed, it has that feature. But you could just leave it on and have it as, just a stationary background noise kind of thing. And of course, if the player for the game is severely young or severely old or severely handicapped, again, it's highly, highly accessible because you're just moving the controller. There's no input, there's no buttons. It's similar to the Wii in that sense that, you don't have to learn any complicated mechanics. It's super, super accessible. And again, a very non-gamer friendly experience to give to someone. Show them the potential of games, so to speak. Of course, it's not super exciting, so this is definitely not going to appeal to anyone, but definitely it's, again, super accessible. There's about 7 different levels. They're not really too difficult. They just kind of increase the amount of things you have to get. And there's certain sections where there is kind of a story where it shows you kind of taking back the the greenery from the city and destroying these power lines and things, and so restoring nature to the element of, how would you say, to the dominant element in the area in the region. And so yeah, you basically go in different areas, you collect all of the flowers or the petals, and that'll be of a certain color, red, pink, blue, etc. And then it'll go on to the next level. And again, there's there are a few cutscenes, but there's no dialogue, almost no story, just purely a very fun, cool, relaxing, experimental game. And it's something I kind of come back to if I ever had a bad day, which I haven't had a bad day yet, I guess, because I haven't come back to it. But yeah, no, it's a fantastic little gem, honestly. A lot of these games, I feel like they try to do this kind of comfy, whatever aesthetic, but they're very cheaply made. This is the one exception where this is just very well made and the production quality is very nice. And again, it's something I just kind of forgot about because it doesn't really stand out a lot, except in the fact that it is a very zen experience. But yeah, this is a game that's great for all ages and whatever. And again, even if you're a hardcore gamer, I think you can still get something out of it. You can probably beat it in a few hours relatively quickly. And it's yeah, I mean, Flower is Flower. If you've played it, you know about it. And this is the game that back in the day, a lot of people said, "Oh, this is pushing the narrative that games are art." And certainly with Journey, their sequel to this, that is absolutely cemented. Journey is one of the most artistic games ever made, and it's just a pure experience with little dialogue, which again I love. and it doesn't have that pretentious standard where it's trying to be something deep. It just is a fun experience first, with depth and interest kind of behind it and after it. But yeah, this is something that is definitely a bit more experimental from the PS3 era, but very, I don't know, in a way, the game itself, looking back on it, is very iconic or typical of the PS3 doctrine, where it's these large cinematic HUDless experiences where it's less of a game and more of a piece of art, something that's more of an experience, even if it's not terribly deep, that's trying to position itself to a wider audience. That was happening with the Wii, with including everyone in the gameplay and whatever. Xbox 360 stayed mostly in the zeitgeist of gamers, a gamer's console for gamers. But PS3 was a little bit more adventurous, artistic. Oh, we're not just about video games. We're about, and weird nerds. We're also about cool modern art pieces and stuff like that. And they kind of got bitten by that, and along with their highly pretentiously prices of the consoles and the systems. And PS4 is more of a gamer console. PS5 kind of reverted back to that, where they said literally the PS5 was designed to be almost a piece of modern art rather than an actual gaming console or electronic device. It was designed to look more like a non-electronics thing. So kind of that's a return to this kind of mindset. But anyway, it's funny, there hasn't been a game like this really ever, not really of this scale or this type or this style. So I thought I'd mention out because it is actually very unique, even 10 or so years later. So yeah, that's a flower, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.